Hey guys, this is Heidi the Credit Renovator. Today I want to talk to you about grants, free money, right? Now, over the last 4 to 6 months, I've had multiple people ask me, hey, what do you know about grants? I'm seeing people on the internet, on social media, talking about grant money to buy a house, grant money to buy real estate, the grant money to open a business. And so they say, hey, I want to start a business, but I don't want to use my own money. And I said, well, grants are one of those things where you got to find out who's giving you the money so that you can ask for it. I started to do some research. I spoke to a few of my colleagues, my associates, who are in the grant space. Some of them are grant writers. Some of them are grant consultants. Some of them even run or manage grants for foundations, whatnot, and they have a lot to say about who gets the money. They told me a lot about things like eligibility criteria and target audiences and mission statements and things like that. So I want to clear that up a little bit and let you know what you need to do and the best chance of success for getting a grant of some kind. Obviously, it starts with knowing what's out there, what exists. But before we get into the actual opportunities, I want to talk to you a little bit about the opportunity, the grant and funding guide that I provide as a free gift here, and as well as what I'll be talking about in the video. So before we jump into that, I want to make a couple of important notes. First of all, keep in mind that this guide that I'm putting together and the information I'm sharing with you today is based on research into publicly available grants, funding, assistance, and resource programs. I'm sharing this with you but remember, I am a credit, lending, mortgage, and business funding and financial educational professional. I am not a professional grant writer, grant consultant, or grant administrator. So I have some knowledge and experience with grants, writing grant. I've applied for a few grants myself for some of the business things I do, but in no way am I the type of grant writer. My proficiency is such that I would offer that out as a service to anybody in exchange for money. I have knowledge of it, but I relied on my professional colleagues and some research to provide what's here today. Understand this. My goal here is not to promise that you will qualify for any specific program. Not any of the ones I mentioned, any of the ones that I haven't mentioned, and as I tell you about the criteria and the best way to get eligibility. My goal here is to help you understand what types of opportunities that exist, what documentation and financial habits that would be required to get eligibility, and more importantly, how your credit profile, your business structure, income, documentation, and funding readiness can affect your ability to take advantage of any of the opportunities that I'm going to name and talk about. Also, you want to be aware that some of the programs that you will find in your search for grants that you may be apply for and be eligible for, some of these so-called grants are actually down payment assistance programs, forgiveness loans, deferred loans, tax credits, matching funds, technical assistance, training programs, business development support, or low interest financing. So in other words, the down payment assistance is just that. Forgivable loans, a grant may actually be a forgivable loan where you get this extra money, like in financing if you're buying a house or something, and it comes to you originally as a loan, but they may say, okay, if you stay in the house 15 years and you sell, the loan is forgiven. Or it may be if you do so much renovation or something like that, it may be forgiven. A deferred loan may be one of those that it's a loan, but so it's used to help you get the house or whatever, and then you don't have to pay the loan back until after you sell the house. and then it's paid then. Tax credits help you on your property tax. Matching funds, sometimes you say, hey, I need the money, but they say, okay, we'll give you half. And whatever you bring, we'll match. Things like that. So it's literally that. Some of the programs are not money, but they're technical assistance, training program, business development thing, and low interest loans where with the business development, the training, and the technical assistance, they may offer that through specialists and things like that at no cost to you. So you have to think of it this way. This is technical assistance that you normally would have to pay somebody hundreds or thousands of dollars to get that knowledge and expertise. They're giving it to you for free. So that's just like money. So keep that in mind as well. So before applying, always verify directly with the grant foundation that you're looking at the most current eligibility rules, the deadlines, and funding availability, because many of these grants, they only have a limited amount of funds, and when they give away all the money, they're done. It's closed till maybe the next annual year or the next funding cycle comes in. Also, you want to be aware of any specific application requirements, and you want to get that information directly from the official grant program provider. And so you always want to contact them. If you find one through your internet searching and then it looks like something that works for you, contact them and make sure everything is still current. So you'll be applying for the most recent and relevant set of eligibility rules. But at the end of the day, the big message is simple. Free money still has rules. Everybody know about the golden rule, right? He who has the gold makes the rule. And so being able to follow those rules and be eligible requires preparation. So the opportunity to get that loan, to get that grant and get access to that money requires preparation in regard to the eligibility requirements. Now that preparation is where credit, documentation, and funding readiness come into play. Now today I'm going to talk about grants for nonprofits, churches, community organizations, and even things like financial literacy programs. Now, I often talk about one of my mission statements, my mantras in my credit business, and I say that better credit leads to a better life. And that's all about financial literacy, credit readiness, and home ownership education initiatives. That's my personal mission. Now, potential partners that I work with in this regard is my fellow members of the 5 Keys organization that I align them with is 3 realtors and 1 gentleman, 3 ladies who are realtors, and 1 gentleman who is a mortgage loan officer. We all work together providing workshops. We got one coming up on May 16th. I hate to date this video, but I want to make sure people know about it. And so what we do is we work with folks who need that education in preparation for the loan process. Now, we're not exactly nonprofit, but we work with some nonprofit organizations. There's me personally, I've worked with some churches, some schools. I've done presentations at some Cleveland metropolitan schools, some housing agencies. I haven't done any workforce programs. I've done some city community outreach fairs where I've given folks advice on credit and presentations about that. There's also veteran programs, re-entry programs, first-time home buyer nonprofit entities that really use grant funds to fund their outreach activities, because it always costs money to present things sometimes. So they defer the cost of holding a workshop, offering snacks and paperwork and applications and things like that to help reach out to folks in order to help them. So I'm going to tell you how community organizations can fund credit, home buyer, and financial literacy programs if you're interested in that. If you're somebody out there that's interested in that. But many of these can also work for other nonprofits as well. Think about it this way. Grant money follows mission, measurement, and community impact. Okay? And you want to be specific in what you want to do, not just say we just want to do some vague community outreach. You want to have specifics. You want to be able to tell them, we want to help with home ownership. We want to help with the down payment piece. We want to educate them on the home buying process. Very specific. We want to help people with the credit piece. So you want to be very specific. Again, if you're a nonprofit and you're trying to get grant money, basically, you want to make sure you know exactly what this money, should you get it, what kind of initiatives, programs, outreach that you're going to use that money for. All right. And so I have a checklist that I offer that'll help you with the grant funding application and search, really more to search for finding available monies. But I'm going to talk to you about some of the more well-known and maybe best fit opportunities for grant money for these types of things. First, Ohio, like many other states, have some version of a financial literacy education grant program. Now, who is this for? This is for nonprofit entities, schools, and community organizations who want to put out the word about financial literacy, the importance of it, as well as any initiatives and education steps, strategies, action plans to help people with financial literacy so they don't fall into a poverty trap through mismanagement of funds, income and credit and things like that, and find themselves locked out of the system due to poor credit scores and lack of money and delinquencies and things of that nature. So why does that matter? The financial literacy educational grant programs are usually a strong fit for nonprofits and who have programs that intend to teach budgeting, teach saving, teach credit and financial planning, so they can teach folks how to set these things up and have a set of habits and actions that support that wealth, financial independence, healthy financial situations. Now, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, they have what's called the PRIME program. This program is geared towards nonprofit, micro enterprise development organizations, and some eligible public and community entities. So all that to say is the SBA will give grant programs to nonprofit groups that want to help small businesses and other small entities know how understand financial literacy, because even business owners can sometimes struggle with financial literacy and being able to manage credit and finances in a way, both personally and the business. And so the SBA is great in partnering with nonprofits that have that mission. So why does that matter? The SBA program supports training, technical assistance, and services for like disadvantaged groups, marginalized groups, say some minorities, low income, and things like that. And these are people who say, I want to change my circumstance. I might be low income now, but I'm trying to build a business, or I want to start a business where I can change my financial circumstances. I just need a little help. So the SBA, through these public nonprofits, can help you get your business off the ground with grant money in an indirect way. Now, in another video, I talk about you as an entrepreneur getting grant money directly. This directly from a foundation or a public entity. This way you can get money indirectly through another program, because what they're going to do is put the money together with these technical services and assistance so that they can help guarantee that when they give you the money, you'll know what to do with it to improve your situation. Now, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, government agency, everybody's heard of HUD. They have, in addition to programs like Section 8 and other things like that, they also have, and FHA, they also have housing counseling grants. Now, these are for basically HUD approved housing counseling agencies. Like here locally, we have things like Cleveland Housing Network, where they work with folks who want counseling on credit and finance and things like that, so that they can be eligible for other programs. The HUD approved housing counseling agencies and their eligible partners go through a process, and then HUD says you're approved, we give you grant money, they use that money to help in the community. So why does that matter? Through this program, HUD will support housing counseling and homebuyer educational work, because a lot of folks, they need to be prepared for the home buying process, which is another thing that me and my colleagues at 5 Keys, in our 5 Keys group, we offer those type of things. I give folks counseling and credit coaching. My realtor partners, they give coaching and counseling and advising people on the home buying process, the home search process. And then my colleague, who's the mortgage lender, he counsels them on their mortgage lending, as well as the overlap with me with the credit and budgeting and things like that, and being financially ready and able for the house, not just the loan. HUD also offers a comprehensive housing counseling program for home ownership with nonprofits and everything. It's a little different from the other program in that it's structured for housing, education, and counseling programs through individual nonprofit agencies. They do the actual teaching and all of that, as well as some eligible partners. And so those are the grants that, and again, there's a more comprehensive list of it, but basically through these entities, each one of them have multiple grants that will allow you as a nonprofit who wants to help people in the housing space with that. There are also private grants. If you are a nonprofit and it's not in housing, it might be in some other service like tax prep, things like that, where you can get grant money, and then that way you can offer people free tax prep, like during tax season or something like that, and that activity gets funded by these nonprofits. By these private foundations. So again, you can Google that. It's a good way. Just go into Google bar and search exactly what you say. Hey, you say, and what you want to do. The key to success in finding good grants is you tell them about you. When you tell them, you say, I'm looking for grants for this, and I have this type of business or this type of activity, and you tell them everything that what you are. It will help you find grant foundations whose mission match your mission. That's where the success comes from. When you have a clear-cut mission of what you're doing, and then you seek out grant foundations whose mission they match, they're going to give you their money, because your mission, they're giving you money to do your mission, which is the same as their mission. So you're helping them get the mission done because you guys are doing the same thing. And that's the key. That's a huge part of successfully getting grants, is having a clear picture of your company, you and your company's mission, and that you reach out to grant foundations who have a mission that is in alignment with yours. And then if you got all your ducks in a row, your documentation, your business is set up properly, and so that they know that you're serious and you're real, they will be more than happy to fund you in your mission as it aligns with theirs. So basically, that's where your focus should be, on that alignment. So keep in mind that at Credit Renovators, our focus is helping people become more prepared for the opportunities that they're looking for. Now, whether you're trying to buy a home, build a business, accessing capital for business or other purposes, protecting your property, your assets to build wealth, or create a stronger financial future to build wealth and for you and the next generation. It's important to know that no matter what income you have, your income can be multiplied through leverage to help you more. So if you got $50,000 in solid income and you got good credit, your credit can multiply that $50,000 income and enable you to do things that at the $200,000 level, if not more, to actually show you how to build wealth through building assets that pay you while you're sleeping. That's the secret of building wealth. So hopefully you found this video valuable. If you need or want more information on grants, and you want to talk to me about more detail about the grant search process, and that, you can click on the link below. You can reach out to me. We can have a conversation. I have some other guides that could be helpful in that as well. You can do that. If you not subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get the notifications. You hit the notification bell. Every time I roll out one of these videos, you'll be notified of it. Also, if you are a subscriber, please, feel free to share this video with others, this one and others, and share the channel, because there's a lot of great information here to help you out with everything from fixing your credit, getting funding, and then if you need to fix your credit to get funding, we can do that for you too. If you have questions about business, we offer business coaching to help you with that as well. But primarily, if you're looking for credit, funding, you're looking for grants, things like that, we can certainly help you with that. So until the next time, this is Highly the Credit Renovator. You guys take care.